Another method to cook asparagus is through the saute and steam method. One of the things that I learned about sauteing is that it comes from a French word that means sauter, to leap. And it's a method of cooking that involves low heat and a limited amount of oil. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a 12-inch pan that you can put on the stove at medium heat, and you want to let it heat up for about 4 minutes before you add your oil and you add your vegetables. With this, we'll make sure that we wait that our pan heats up, and then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of oil to the pan, and then we're going to make sure to coat the pan, and then we'll add the vegetables. One of the benefits of sauteing is, since it is a low heat, low oil method, it retains most of the nutritional value of the vegetables that you're cooking. There are some vegetables like spinach that when you cook them, they have more vitamins that are available, like beta carotene, vitamin K, and vitamin A. But for the most part, if you're cooking leafy vegetables like broccoli, spinach, they retain most of their folate through low heat cooking methods. So I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of oil. Now that the pan is heated up, I'm going to coat it just by tilting it. Make sure the oil is evenly distributed across the pan. And we're going to add the asparagus. And again, you don't want to overcrowd it or else it won't cook thoroughly. So you'll want to leave it alone for about 5 minutes just to let it cook and turn brown. But after it's done sauteing, then you'll want to put the lid on it to let it steam. And at this point, you can add some garlic and some lemon juice to toss with it. This is one way to make less of a mess in your pan, because when you add the lemon juice and the garlic while it's cooking, it's more likely to leave a stain. So a small trick to do is to just add it after you're done cooking. You can add as much pepper as you want to taste, and then like a few squirts of the lemon juice. And of course, you can use a fresh lemon too. If you're new to cooking, it's perfectly okay to just use a store-bought lemon juice. And then, of course, we're back to our garlic. I do 2 teaspoons because I like it to be garlicky. I like the extra flavor. Of course, you can use good old salt and pepper, but if you're doing low sodium cooking, practicing with other spices is a good way to familiarize yourself with a lot of different flavor. And it's ready to serve. You can plate it. That's one of the quickest ways to cook asparagus, is to saute and steam. And of course, all you have to do is rinse out your pan. And it's relatively easy cleanup, and no scrubbing involved because there's no stains. Before you cook with your vegetables, you always want to make sure you rinse them to get rid them of any debris or any germs they acquired from them being out in the store before they came to your house. And when you're cutting them, you want to remove the stalks if you are sauteing or if you are roasting them or stir frying them. They will cook faster when they have less of the stem on them. But if you're grilling your broccoli, what you want to do is you want to cut them in half and think of it like it's a steak. And so you want a flat part that you can grill on the grill. Same goes for other vegetables like cauliflower. So I'm going to leave some vegetables larger and other ones that's smaller that we're going to saute with. These woody large parts, I'm not going to use them. They can be used for like a vegetable stock or something else if you have that in mind, but they're not really used in cooking unless you like the stock. I myself am not the biggest fan. So we have our broccoli here, and now we're ready to saute and steam our broccoli. And again, steaming is one of the better ways to cook the broccoli because it's a very sensitive type of vegetable when it comes to the cooking process, so it can get burned easily and it can lose its nutritional values. Gentler ways of cooking, like steaming or sauteing, are best for it. And again, we're just tilting our pan to make sure that all the oil is evenly distributed. I'm using olive oil, which when you saute, you're not using as much olive oil and you're cooking at a lower temperature point. So olive oil is very good for that because you are cooking at a lower temperature with that. That being said, they do make olive oil that you can use or higher smoke point cooking, such as frying. So we got our broccoli. Just gonna throw it in there. Of course, you can add garlic and lemon juice now, but I like to wait until afterwards just to help alleviate that mess and prevent my pan from being stained. So you're just gonna leave it alone for about 5 minutes, and then you'll come back and stir. When it starts crackling like this, I just move it around so it doesn't burn. Lower heat cooking, so you wanna make sure that that heat is evenly distributed across the pan and doesn't just concentrate in one area. And as the broccoli starts getting done, it'll turn a brighter green. So now I'm going to remove it from the heat. You can add about a tablespoon of water to it to help with the steaming process. And just cover it. And it should only take about a minute to cook. So this is a way to really lightly cook broccoli. And so you can see that it's about done because it has the green quality to it. If you're not sure if you would like it to be softer, you can just cook it for a couple more minutes until it's fork tender. So now would be the time when I would add the seasoning because it's been about cooked. And so we have our lemon juice. You can just do a couple squirts. And again, about 2 teaspoons of the garlic. And then you would just toss it or stir it with your spatula. Of course, there's other ways to season it as well. Some of my favorite seasoning blends are the lemon pepper and then the everything bagel seasoning. With the lemon juice and the garlic and the olive oil, it just makes the flavor of the broccoli pop. And of course, if you want a little bit extra flavor, you can add a little bit more drizzle of the olive oil too. But for me, this looks perfect, so I'm ready to plate it. So yeah, with just a little bit of garlic, lemon juice, olive oil, and the everything seasoning, and maybe a little pepper, I would just eat this as is. Pretty good.